Am I the asshole for disconnecting the internet and not paying my daughter's phone bill? I'm 39 female. My daughter Jane is 20 female. I am by no means a perfect mother, and my husband Tom isn't a perfect father, but we did our best all her life and tried our best to make sure she never wanted for anything. I know exactly where we went wrong as parents, and I honestly think giving her unrestricted internet access was the problem. Jane is offended by everything, and she claims a lot of things caused her trauma. One of the major things that caused her trauma, in her own words, was my migraines, which I started to experience in my mid-20s. During a migraine of mine, Tom would either take Jane out for a few hours or take her for a play date, or to either set of grandparents. Jane claims this was traumatic because she was forced to separate from me, despite the fact that she did not even know until she was in her teens. I had, at most, 5 migraines a year. Jane claims me going back to work part-time when she was 15, 3 days a week while she was in school, was deeply traumatic because it meant a change in her routine. That change was that dinner wasn't on the table ready for her as soon as she got in the door, and she had to wait an hour. Jane is unemployed. She's not in college, and she does no housework. She won't even walk the dog she brought home without permission, and has decided the arguments it has caused between us are also traumatic. She runs a TikTok account, which recently came up on my For You page, and like the terrible, awful mother I am, I decided to snoop. Jane has over 10K followers, but most of the comments are genuinely making fun of her, calling her a snowflake, telling her to touch grass. She had a few videos about how she grew up below the poverty line, essentially in the ghetto, which is a complete lie because she was raised in a lower middle class household in a pretty affluent area. A lot of her posts with the nasty comments were about me and Tom, and how much we traumatized her over the years by being awful, terrible parents. I confronted Jane pretty much as soon as I got done snooping, and she blew up, saying I had no right to call her out on it. She was saying that it was going in the trauma bank. Not her words, but pretty much what she meant. I told her if she wants trauma, she very much needs a different kind of help. I don't know what got into me, but I ended up unplugging the Wi-Fi router, locked it in my bedroom, and spent ages on the phone to our service provider canceling her phone contract. She's crying all day, saying it's unfair to cut her off like this. My husband thinks I've gone too far, and that Jane will just weaponize this against us, making our lives more miserable. Am I the asshole? Before I dive into this, which is like my worst nightmare as a parent, by the way, we'll get there. You may have been looking at this shirt thinking, man, that looks like a cool shirt. Looks like something Chiefs related, right? I wonder what's on the back of it. Let me show you. That's Pacheco, the beastly stud of a number 10, because you know who isn't there anymore. Now, that part just kind of looked like I was milking a cow. Let's not use that part. I feel like it got weird. This sweet shirt is on our web store at reddit-sedit.com. This story scares the living shit out of me because as a father of 5, we've learned different things at different phases that we can apply down the line, and we've become more wise as parents as we go. It sounds like this is OP's only kid, and the problem with having just one kid, not that having one kid is a problem, that's not what I'm saying, so stop right there, okay? Just don't even start. I could just see you getting your comment ready. That's not what I meant. The problem with having one kid is that you learn things as you go, and you never get the opportunity to apply those lessons to the next kid. And one of the big things that I've seen is that kids will either learn a little bit at a time, or they're going to learn all at once. Learning a little bit at a time is obviously the least painful route for both the parent and the child, and when it is time to enter the real world, they're ready for it, and it's been a gradual journey. OP has chosen the latter route of getting herself in a situation where her kid has to learn everything all at once and feel an immense amount of pain, as well as OP to learn the lesson that is needed to be able to function in the real world. Pain creates change, right? Well, OP finally got to a point where she had enough pain that she took drastic action. Being a parent is just madness all the time. As a parent, you have a responsibility to take some kind of action to try to prepare your child for the real world. And that's kind of where I'm going with all of this. OP has a responsibility to do that and took action. It sucks that she waited so long that the action she took had to be so drastic. So, not the asshole for it. Could have been handled differently. OP's learning the hard way.